You're on Vision with Matt Prater all across Australia. And joining me in the studio right now is Steve Apirana and his beautiful wife, Ainsley. How you doing, guys?
Pretty good, very good.
Hi, very good. Nice
Hungry
to
for
be here.
you. That's
Thanks, Matt.
That's an old song. I remember doing that in the studio in Auckland.
In Auckland, hey?
Yeah. I asked them to stick a box of Kentucky Fried Chicken in front of me, and then it'll be a more, But they said no, we're not doing that.
You could say I'm hungry for you.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Now, for those who haven't heard of you guys before, tell us a bit of your background. Where are you both from?
I'm from Christchurch, New Zealand.
Uh-huh.
Originally from Rotorua, New Zealand, in the middle of the North Island.
Yeah. And where are you
This is
from?
my hometown, Brisbane.
You're a Brizzy
Grew
girl.
up here.
Awesome.
Yep. Wavell Heights, I grew up.
Oh, so good. A local girl. Fantastic. And I remember many years ago seeing you guys performing, travelling around Australia, doing all sorts of events.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about your early career. Where have you guys performed and travelled with over the years?
Well, over the years, we've travelled all over the States and Europe and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because this guy rings me up from Holland when I was on tour with Steve Grace, sends a fax.
Yeah.
Remember faxes?
Yeah.
Sent a fax to Ainsley and said, we understand Steve's coming to Holland to play in a festival here called the Flavo Festival, and we want to know whether he's willing to stay here until Christmas. So Flavo was in August, and go through the schools and sing there. And Ainsley rings me up on tour and says, well, this guy wants you to go to Holland. I said, I don't want to go to Holland at Christmas. It's freezing over there. And, 4 months. I thought, I don't want to go there for 4 months. And so we hung up, and then Ainsley rings him back and said, yeah, he'd love to come, but his family has to come with him. And they said, yeah, well, you get your family here and we'll take care of everything else.
Uh-huh.
And so we did a bit of fundraising and got the airfares, and Ainsley's dad donated money to us, and things just flew in, and we did a tour of Europe, singing in high schools mostly.
Yep.
And going to all sorts of different countries.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy that runs that organisation, he specialises in taking groups from overseas, that are not from Holland, taking them through the schools. And the more weird you look, the better. So he got me going there because he thought I was an Aboriginal, because on my CV it said Steve Apirana, Australia. So he thought I was an Aboriginal. So he said, the good thing about you is you're Aboriginal. You can tell them about Australia. I says, well, I'm not Aboriginal. I'm a Maori from New Zealand. He says, yeah, same thing.
Same thing.
You're from over there, you're black. And and that's when we started touring together. And we've done that tour together how many times?
It's got to be up to 5.
5 times.
Up to 5 times, yep.
Yeah, about 5 times.
Yeah,
and
5 times in the last 20 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you go back after 4 years, and the whole school population has changed completely. So
Yeah,
you can just do your same program all over again.
And I've got some CDs in my hands here. So, Ainsley, you've released albums like Autumn and Cappuccinos and Vanilla Squares.
Yep.
Pretty cool. And Steve, you've got This Wretched Man. You've got No Turning Back and It's Inevitable, some golden oldies and a self-titled one by the looks of things. You've got a bit of a fro on that one there. You look like Guy Sebastian.
I had bigger ones than that, mate. I had a fro coming up. I had this big hedge on top of my head.
Yeah.
That I had to be careful which way I leaned my head over or I start falling over.
You look a bit like Keith Green in that photo, don't you?
Yeah, well, people have called me Keith Brown.
I like that. That's good. And Steve, you've got a bit of a connection to Vision Radio because Phil Edwards, our CEO,
That's right.
used to work with David Smallbone and organise big tours with artists like David Meese and Don Francisco, and you toured with a lot of those guys, didn't you?
Yeah, I toured with Don Francisco, especially in Australia.
Yep.
David Smallbone rang me and asked if I would be willing to tour Australia with him, and I said, I'll think about it. So 1.5 seconds later, I said, yes, I'll do it. But the idea that he had was to take an Australian artist from Australia to New Zealand touring, and a New Zealand artist to Australia, which I thought was a great, gesture, because it got you known amongst the Australian audiences and got him known over in New Zealand. So that was great. And I did 13 cities. 13 cities, yeah. Doug McFarlane, who did the New Zealand version, he did 5 cities. So I got the better of the deal. But we both loved the tour. It was a great time.
And you have performed alongside Black Sabbath and Split Enz and Crowded House and all those guys as well, hey?
Oh, yeah, that was former days.
Yeah.
When I was playing in festivals, I had a band, that my mates and I started up when we were in our teens. Well, they were. I was 20.
Yeah.
I was the elder. So and we started up a band, and we named it after our singer that was supposed to turn up to practice with us. His name was Butler, and he got killed in a car crash.
Oh, wow.
So we named the band after him. His name was Butler Muhi.
Yep.
And it was a funny name because, people associate butlers with serving, coffees and teas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we have to explain it all the time. How come you called yourself Butler? Because everyone was Beatles and monkeys and crickets and all that kind of thing. Anyway.
It's good. Well, you guys are going to do some stuff in the studio. We're going to do a Facebook Live as well. So hang around for that. Steve and Ainsley Apirana, our guest with us this hour here on Vision.